Hello there, Cosplay Cafe Holics. I'm Kelly, your barista of the night. Well, one of the two. And welcome to our show. Tonight we're talking anime. But before that, let's catch our opening credits. All right, so I'm going to bring on my co-host for tonight. Crayle can't make it because she is busy fulfilling orders since the holidays are coming up, and girl is busy with Pokeballs by Crayle. Make sure to check her business out. But I have the lovely Andrea Starnes. Hello, Andrea. It's good to see you. This way, mirroring.
Whichever.
I know.
It always throws me off watching the video because I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm left-handed and things are happening on my right side. It's weird.
I was telling Becki before the show she'd get used to it, and that was a lie because it's been over a year.
Yeah, we've done this. This is now a year and 2 months. So
yeah, and I've been doing StreamYard stuff longer than that. The mirroring.
You get used to it by the end of the episode, and then the next episode you're back to confused again. It's fine. Because I live in a constant state of confusion. It's okay.
Same. At least we live in the same state in that way.
It's the shared Phoenix one brain cell we all have. It's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
We're all fine.
So speaking of our guest tonight is Becki. I am going to let her pronounce her username on social media.
Uchiha Sakura.
Thank you.
I was a big Naruto fan. Like, Sakura was one of my best friend's first big cosplay, so.
I knew I was going to butcher it. I did not watch Naruto.
I was in the weeb generation. It's fine.
Yes. So just to give you all a little primer on Becki, she is incredibly talented. She's won multiple awards for her costumes. She also has a huge heart. She does a lot of volunteer work. She's very, very busy with her volunteer work. She dabbles in a little bit of everything fandom-wise. She does superheroes. She does anime. Actually, I'm not sure if she does Disney yet, but she should. Everyone should do Disney at least once. But I absolutely adore her. She sends me build progress pictures on some of her costumes. I always feel really just excited when she does this because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how that gets made. Wow. Yeah. Girl is extremely talented, extremely sweet, and I'm really happy to have her. So welcome, Becki.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for your kind words.
Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad that we could finally make this happen. You've been on my wish list for guests since we started the show, but life is busy.
Life is very busy.
Yeah, it's fun times. We all have to be adults, and then, yeah.
Do we really, though?
I was going to ask if we really had to.
Certain times. And it comes time to pay those bills and go to work.
0 stars.
Do not recommend. So one thing they don't tell you about growing up is the responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, boo.
That's very true.
And you're like, oh, I can eat ice cream for dinner.
But I also have to pay the mortgage.
Also, if you eat ice cream for dinner, then you regret it for many reasons. Like, yeah, you can eat ice cream for dinner, and then you deal with the consequences. And I will be just 1 second, y'all, because my laptop is not registering that it's plugged in and it's about to die. So, Andrea, why don't you ask Becki our opening questions?
All right. So, Becki, tell us how you got into cosplay.
So in high school, I was dating a guy. I was very big into anime and manga. I got Shonen Jump, like, was it once a month that it came out?
Something like that. Remember those days?
And he just kind of looked at me one day and was like, have you ever thought of cosplaying? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he told me about it. And then that, I guess technically next year, but like it was fall time and OhioCon happens in January.
Mm-hmm.
I went to my first convention and I decided to make 2 costumes because I'm crazy like that.
We all start out just a little psychotic and it just kind of snowballs from there.
And actually, Gen and Sakura was my first one of my first 2 costumes. The other one was Summer Year.
You want to tell us about your first experience?
So it was a lot of fun. I didn't have a wig, so didn't have this thing. But my friend had a pink wig, and I cannot think of the character name that she was. And she's like, well, you can just wear mine. And it was more hot pink than this shade of pink.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I got to meet Chris Sabat the first convention. There was a lot of big name people at that time, which was 2006. So that was early 2000s, and I cannot think of a lot of their names right now.
Yeah, you'll think of them as soon as we go off air. That's the way it always works.
Well, they were from shows that I hadn't really watched, but I knew who they were because my friends liked them. So I kind of I was like, oh yeah, it's that dude, the guy that wears the cowboy hat all the time.
Scott McNeil, the voice actor.
It was a voice actor, but it wasn't Scott McNeil.
Okay, because he always runs around in a cowboy hat too. Because I know him because he voices Duo Maxwell in Gundam Wing, and I've had a crush on that man's voice since I was like 16 or 17.
Maybe it was him. I don't remember.
2006 was a long time ago. If we're expecting you to remember the tiny details, then you have a better memory than I do.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember. But it was a lot of fun. I think I went the whole weekend, but I might have just gone Saturday. No, I'm pretty sure I went at least Saturday, Sunday. But I wore Sakura one day, and then I wore Summoner Yuna the other day, and of course I made both of them. And then I was just like, so when's the next one? And I think my next one was actually Matsuri-con. Well, I went to OhioCon the following year again, so 2007, but then I started going to Matsuri-con too, which is in August. Yeah, August.
I've heard a lot of people that go to that one.
It's another.
I was big into the anime. Like I used to do like Akon and all of that. So that was my jam for a long time. So I'm like going, yeah, I remember these con names.
Yeah.
When the word cosplay was definitely not a household word.
No, I would go to Joann's to get fabric, and they're like, "So what are you working on?" And I'm like, an outfit, because you didn't really want to tell them what you were doing, because then you got this weird look of, oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, I would always say I'm making a costume, and people automatically go, "Oh, what theater do you work for?" It's like, I don't. I did for a little while, but that's usually not what I was in there for.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah, they look at us like they still look at us like we're weird. It's okay.
Yeah, but it's more accepting now. Yeah, because there's actually like a costume.
The word cosplay has become a household word, so it's a little easier to say it without getting the. Because there was always a lot of those people that thought when you said you cosplayed and you were making something for like an anime, they're like, oh, you think you're Japanese.
Yeah, there were a lot of those people, and it's like, no.
I enjoy their culture, but I don't think by any stretch of the imagination that this white girl from Memphis is Japanese suddenly. It's okay, guys. Welcome back, Kelly. We were just rambling. You're sitting there listening.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I could listen to you both
talk. If you don't interrupt me, I will keep going forever. Problem. I am an introvert until I'm talking about something I really like, and then it's hard to shut me up.
I feel that.
Let's see. She probably, like, Becki probably shares the Phoenix sister brain cell.
Oh yeah, she's in the hive mind. I'm pretty sure,
It's fine.
Becki, welcome. You're in the hive mind now.
Even if you don't want to be, you're in it.
Glad
now.
to
You're
be
just-
here.
You're inducted in. I think we just do that with everybody. We're like, oh, well, you're one of ours now.
And they're like, I didn't know that's what I was signing up for. Oh, we're going to scare off future guests.
Nah, they'll be fine.
Come to the Phoenix side. We have cookies.
I thought the dark side had cookies.
It does.
Well,
I mean, the Phoenix side
dark
is sometimes
Phoenix?
dark.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that.
Dark Phoenix. I mean, that's the one that Kelly and I both do. Or no, Crayle does the Dark Phoenix. You do the regular Phoenix.
I'm the good Phoenix.
I do Rogue.
I wasn't. I do Rogue too.
Yes, I love Rogue.
Like the 90s cartoon Rogue. Big curly hair.
Yes.
Rogue is honestly just the best.
One
She
of
is.
the coolest X-Men, definitely.
She's fun to wear. Haven't worn her in a really long time, and not for sure she fits anymore, but that's a whole different thing.
We all know that feeling as well.
Oh boy. The number of costumes in my closet that I'm scared to try on. And the number of costumes I have tried on and that I'm still hanging on to, like, just in case.
I have all of my costumes I've ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact I probably don't fit in half of them anymore.
I feel that.
I've sold one made for me in my entire cosplay career, and that's because I fell so out of love with Bleach that when somebody asked if I would sell them my Soifon costume, I'm like, sure, you can have it. I was like, I kept the shoes though, because the shoes I used for another costume, but the hakama, the halter tops, the wig, it all went.
A friend of mine made me a hakama for Rukia, and then I haven't worn them.
Hakama are so comfy.
I've
Oh
never.
my gosh,
I've
if you've never
put it
worn
on.
a pair of Japanese hakama, they are so comfortable.
I have them. I have them downstairs in my sewing room, and I'm just like, I don't know how to put these on.
They're
They're
actually
just
really
gonna be right
simple.
there.
They're actually pretty simple. You tie the front one around first, they tie underneath, and then you bring the back ones up and they tie around the front. Fine. They're gigantic though. You can fit a whole person in one leg of a pair of hakama.
I think
of all the pleats.
I think a friend of mine actually did that when they were in their Bleach outfit. That they put a person in a pant leg.
Yeah.
I think I've
that's
seen
funny.
pictures of that.
Yeah, I mean, because they're huge. Like they're the only thing I could fit on my dress form because all my dress forms have that pole like dead center, so you can't put pants on it. I could always put hakama pants on my dress form. And they're easy to make, except they do involve math. Math sucks.
Yeah, I use math for my costumes to make them proportional for props and stuff. Yeah,
I'm not good at math.
It's a necessary evil.
it really is. I've started working on the math for the sword for my next costume, and I think I've done the math with 3 different pictures, and the numbers all come up 3 different ways, and
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
See, that's
they're
why I have
close,
friends
but-
that make my props. I
What?
have friends and brothers that make props for me.
So, what is your next costume?
So my next one is going to be Black Rose from Dot Hack. It's like throwing it back a ways.
That's way back.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually the 25th anniversary this past August. So, yeah.
Ooh.
But I'm going to do Black Rose with her sword, and her sword is taller than her.
Yeah.
But most conventions have a 6-foot prop limit too, so I have to watch that. But she's like a heavy blade. So if you go like MMO online game classes, she's a heavy blade.
Nice.
She's pretty fun. She puts Kite in his place a few times.
So, what are you making the sword out of?
Right now, I haven't started it yet, believe it or not, and the convention's in like 2 months. Should probably start that soon.
You got
as
plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm competing
Yeah,
it, but no big deal.
The week of it, you're going to be going, oh crap, I haven't started it, but hey,
Yeah,
I got
yep.
time.
That's
I mean, if
exactly
you're
it.
competing, hopefully not. Don't do that to yourself.
I might have the rest of it done and still be like, I don't know what to do. But anyway, so I'm using foam sheeting for like household insulation foam. That'll be my inner core, but I'm gonna have PVC pipe with dowel rods in the center for the skeleton, I guess, if you want to call it that.
That makes sense.
And then use foam, the foam board that you can use for like posters,
Yeah.
as an outer layer, and then EVA foam over top of that.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people use that household foam as a good interior because it's not heavy.
It's really light.
And it's carvable.
Yep.
So
you can use a hot knife on it and it just kind of melts and cuts at the same time.
I bought my first hot knife like a month ago, and I used it, or maybe 2 months ago, because I used it for my Bombshell Hawk Girl. I was so excited about it. I was like, yes, I have a new toy.
Yes, they're fun. They're fun to play with.
They are.
They're really good. Like one on a low setting is really good for cutting out lace appliques too. Keeps the netting from fraying on you. Now, I didn't do that with Anastasia. I literally sat there with a pair of tiny scissors, hand cutting all that lace
because you hate yourself.
I hate myself. Turned out gorgeous. I hate myself.
It looked beautiful.
I'm looking at it right now. It's diagonally across from me, hanging up. So
that costume is a masterpiece, though. So worth it.
I cried. They were good tears. I cried when I put it on. I think we all had at least one costume. You've wanted it for so long. When you finally put it on, you just cry.
Yeah, that was kind of Casca's. I call it the Band of the Hawk leader version of hers. Casca's from Berserk. It's not a kid anime. I'll put it that way. Not in the slightest. But I did her full armor from when she was the one leading the Band of the Hawk instead of when Griffith was gone. I just finished that in August, and it's been one that I've wanted to do forever. And it took about an hour to get me in it because it's like full armor, front and back, along with a whole bunch of pieces. But once I got in it and I saw myself, I was like, oh, look, I actually have the costume now.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's Batgirl for me.
Feeling. Yeah.
Finishing Batgirl. I need to rework some things, but I put Batgirl on. I was like, I wanted to be Batgirl since I was 12. I put it on. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. The day I finally make a Storm costume, the world might feel those tears. So let's just.
This needs to happen. This needs to happen.
I mean, I finally got Captain Carter done, and that one I was so happy that finally she was a superhero too.
I think I cried a little bit in mine.
Yeah.
The first time I wore it, Captain Carter, because Peggy Carter has a very, very special place in my heart.
Yep.
And yeah, I remember seeing your Captain Carter pictures, and I was like, okay, I love this. And Kelly's like, I figured you guys were gonna get along.
I keep bringing you your cosplay twins, and I'm like, yes, be friends, be friends.
Well, I'm not sure if Kelly knows this, but I actually did Peggy Carter's army uniform from the first Avenger too.
That's been on my list. I've never done it. I've only gotten her blue suit from the TV show, and then I did the stealth suit earlier this year.
Nice. Stealth suit is on my list to make. I actually have the regular What If version.
Yeah, I was gonna do that one. I was like, I'm already seeing several of that one, and my brother had bought me both of her action figures for Christmas, and I'm sitting there staring at that stealth suit, and I'm like, it's blue and silver. And then the figure comes with a blue and silver shield instead of a red, white, and blue shield.
Right, which is funny because she doesn't use the blue and silver shield in the show.
No, in the show, it's still her regular red, white. Well, just like with Cap, when he had his stealth suit, he still had the red, white, and blue shield.
That's true.
But my friend made me the blue and silver shield, so guess I just have to get a red, white, and blue one too, right?
Yeah, they got that Disney one now that makes sounds and everything.
Yes. I also want to do her version from the Marvel Puzzle Quest game. That's when she's Captain America.
I love that version.
I did that version.
I've seen it, and I'm jealous. I want that version so bad. That's been on my list, and I just haven't gotten started on it.
It's a fun one.
I just want to live as Peggy Carter because she's my feminist hero. I love her to death.
She's awesome. My front license plate, because in Ohio you don't actually have to have a front license plate. It can be vanity. Mine says I know my value, and it's a silhouette of Peggy Carter, and I got the British flag around it.
Very cool. That. I have her shield, a sticker of her shield on the back windshield of my car.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like right there with Captain Marvel. So I'm like, yeah. And I have the original shield logo. Yeah, and I have the original SHIELD logo on the back because I'm like, well, that's Peggy, the old SHIELD logo, so I have that back there too. My car looks like a big old nerd drives it, I mean.
Every time I see someone with nerd stickers, I like want to follow them, and I'm like, we need to be friends.
You
I
kind of look at me
don't.
like, you kind of look at their car and you wonder, have I met you at a local con or something before?
Do I
or
know
at the comic
you?
shop?
Right. To be clear, I do not follow them. Like if we're on
Sure.
the highway, I don't
No one
follow
think that
them.
Kelly is stalking people. She's not. She's just curious.
But yeah, I'll look. Like if I'm passing them on the highway, I'll look and I'll be like, do I know you?
Yeah.
Should I know you? Can I know you?
Okay, the best part is like my license plate holder on the back of my car is also rhinestoned and has Hello Kitty on it because I also love that.
Yes.
And there was this dude one time, he like, because I have like the Hawkeye, Nobody Would Know from Age of Ultron, and all these comic book stickers and stuff, and then the Hello Kitty thing, and a Camp Half-Blood sticker because I love Percy Jackson.
Yes.
And this guy's like comes around and he speeds up just enough to kind of look in my windshield, in my window, just to kind of look like, what kind of person drives this car? And then he just kind of went back to the speed limit because he's kind of looking like, it's hi, it's just a big old nerd. It's okay.
I would do that.
You said Percy Jackson. I did Zone Nightshade from Percy Jackson.
Nice.
With a friend of mine who actually she passed away after that. But she was, and I always forget her name. Was it Talia
Talia Grace.
We did
the daughter of Zeus.
Yeah, we did the oh my goodness, because my brain just died because I brought it up. Hunters of Artemis. Yeah, so we had like the same jackets and everything.
I love that.
See, I'm a big old Rick Riordan nerd. My brother and I drove 4.5, 5 hours to go to a book signing of his one time. So
I love him so much. Okay.
And then, when we did our literary cosplay at the beginning of this year, I did Annabeth because Annabeth is freaking amazing.
She's everything.
And I'm watching the updates for the show. Like they updated today. They updated who's playing Hades and Hephaestus. His name's always a funky one to say.
I haven't seen those.
They did not they cast a man way too attractive to be Hephaestus. Timothy Omenson that played Cain in Supernatural.
Oh, I didn't watch Supernatural.
See, I did.
Don't
make
me.
I'm like,
he's hot. Okay, they're gonna have
my
to
brother.
ugly him up.
I said it to my brother. I'm like, they cast Hades and Hephaestus, and he goes, Hephaestus is supposed to be so ugly. Hera threw him out of the house. How did they cast that smoke show? And I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, but who's playing Hades? This is important information.
I forgot his name, but they put it on the Percy Jackson Instagram for the show, and I'm super excited. I'm waiting. Okay. I'm waiting for that Poseidon casting. I'm waiting to see who's playing his dad, because everybody wants it to be Logan Lerman so bad since he played Percy originally, but Riordan has said in his blogs that no one associated with the original movies are associated with the show.
I mean, I can see where he's coming from, but
he said it's nothing against the actors. He just wants people that are coming in fresh. And did you see Lin-Manuel Miranda is playing Hermes?
Yeah. Okay, so J. Duplass. I'm
not good with names.
Yeah, I've never seen the guy that's playing Hades, but I agree with the casting. I think it's going to be good.
I'm excited for Adam Copeland. So he's Edge from WWE. He's playing Ares.
Ooh, yes, I saw it because I was looking at the pictures. I'm like, I recognize this guy.
He was in Vikings.
And it wasn't until I sent it to my brother, because he was into wrestling a little longer than I was, and he goes, "Oh man, that's Edge," and I'm like, that's where I know him from. I'm like, I recognize this guy's face, but I could not place it to save my life.
Edge is the whole reason why I was into wrestling, and then he was forced to retire the week of my birthday. Oh, no. And I stopped watching 100%, but he's now back. He was able to have a procedure done, and he's able to be part of wrestling again.
Yeah, I knew it was like he physically could not keep going.
He had broke his spine or his neck one too many times. So they couldn't fix it to make it passable for wrestling.
How many people can say, I broke my neck one too many times?
Right? But
what kind of superhero are you?
Well, I guess what it was, because I watched his documentary after he did come back, and they actually documented his coming back. And he was in Vikings and he started doing his own stunts in Vikings. And his wife kind of looked at him and said, if you can do your own stunts in this, why couldn't you wrestle?
Yeah.
And that kind of started the thought process of, well, could I wrestle again? Because that was the thing that he had done since his childhood. That's all he ever wanted to do was wrestle.
And he was super famous for it. Like, people loved him. I remember my brothers, Edge and Christian, like all the time. That was their thing.
The sad part was when he came back for the Royal Rumble, that was Christian's last match with WWE. So they were literally in the ring for like, I don't even remember, a few seconds. They did the second poses and that kind of thing. And, but yeah,
I was wrestling like in the 80s up to like about 2000 or so, and then my brothers kept on for several more years after that. But I remember it was the WWF and the WCW, so we're going way back. Yeah, we had our hands in a lot of cookie jars with our enjoyments, and hence here we are today, doing all of this stuff. No, see, if you have all that wrestling knowledge, we know a couple of our other show hosts that would probably enjoy talking to you as well. We have quite a few wrestling fans.
I haven't watched too much recently, but I have actually dressed up as Becky Lynch when she was the last kicker.
Oh, yeah. And my brother did an art piece of her for somebody.
I met Sasha Banks at, I think it was Wizard World Columbus a few years ago. I say a few, but that's like pre-pandemic. So that's not really a few years ago, you know.
We all forget what a few is anymore.
You know what? The pandemic years don't count. So
I actually wore my Becky Lynch when I met Sasha, and she informed me that she asked me if I had shown it to Becky yet, and I was like, no, I haven't met her. And she's like, you need to show her. So I think I put it on my Instagram and tagged her in it, and she shared it on her Instagram. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's awesome.
That's so sweet.
It was fun.
See, I love when famous people are fans of their fans.
Right.
It really makes you appreciate them, because you're like, I've seen some going to all the cons I've done for the last 22 years. I've seen some celebrities, artists, actors, whatever, be super freaking excited, and I've seen some be complete jerks.
Yeah, I ran into a lot of that with Walking Dead. So for a while, I worked with a Walking Dead convention, and I did Lori Grimes.
Yeah.
I can name the convention. No, I'm not associated with them. Technically, I really never was, except for they went, here, have passes, show up to our convention.
Nice.
And I say that
we all love free passes.
Right? But I say that ahead of time because it's not a con with a good name anymore. So I used to go to Walker Stalker Con.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we ran into that with a lot of the actors. Like when I was part of it was when it was first starting, and it was actually really good. It just kind of went downhill in later years.
It happens.
Yeah. But we would get there and I can't think of the actor or actress's names, but one of them, I can't even think of the character that she played in the show. But we walked up, and we like most of them, we'd walk up and be like, hey, we're just here. Saw you didn't have a line, so we thought we'd sit and chat. And they'd be all cool about it, and they'd think it's really cool. And then this one we went to say hi to, and her handler wasn't even her. She didn't speak to us at all, but her handler looked at us and said, it's this much for a picture and this much for an autograph. And we're like, no, we just want to talk to her. So she repeated, it's this much for a picture and this much for an autograph. And we're like, never mind, see ya.
Yeah. That's not how you keep fans.
No.
It's just not.
The actor that played Herschel, and I should know his name because he was really known for a lot of his work. He would actually sit with us at the bar and just talk. We'd sit there and drink whiskey with him. He's unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
But he was super nice. It got to the point where some of the actors, we'd show up and they'd be like, hey, I remember you at this convention. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've seen, because I've done so many Star Wars conventions. It's funny. The bigger the villain they play, the nicer the person they are.
Yep.
Then you have little episode 1 Anakin Skywalker, Mr. Jake Lloyd, biggest jerk in the world to people, getting yelled at getting yelled at by Jeremy Bulloch, who was the original Boba Fett actor.
Wow.
Telling him to sit down, shut up, and sign autographs, because if it's not for these people, you'd be nothing. And I'm over there like, thank you, Boba Fett. Jeremy Bulloch was a sweetheart. Then I've heard mixed stories about, and I've just lost the name, Darth Maul, Ray Park.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed stories because every story we've got, like, my brothers had amazing interactions with him. I've heard some people have not so great. But most of the time I hear good ones. Just like everybody in the world, great stories about Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca originally. Mm-hmm. He burned my little brother twice talking to him.
Really?
Just kind of like nothing. And everybody else like, oh, he's the most lovely human on the planet. And Brad's like, no, he's not.
I mean, I guess everyone has their off days, and your brother.
Funny thing, he had an off day twice with Brad several years apart.
Yeah, your brother just got unlucky.
I guess Brad, Chewbacca being one of his top favorite Star Wars characters, just didn't endear him to Peter Mayhew. But I know other people that had the most amazing, lovely interactions with him. So people have off days. It happens.
And we are at the midpoint of the show, which means it's time to stand up. Becki, I don't know how much room you have, but time to show off our costumes. If you don't have room, that's fine.
I can stand up, but I don't have a whole lot of room.
That's fine. And we never make the guests go first, so I will go first. I usually, but
she'll sing for you too.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I don't have as much room either. I kind of messed around with my setup this week, but let me.
Same. I think we all are just in a little spot today.
It's cold. Okay, like.
It is.
I'm too sexy for my cosplay. I'm too sexy for my butt bow. I got shoes. Oh my God, shoes.
Magical girls have to have butt bows.
They do.
It's part of the rules.
Magical girls and 80s girls. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of magical girls were the product of the 80s, so.
That's true. All right, Andrea, do you want to go?
Sure.
Andrea is too sexy for her cosplay. She's too sexy for her cosplay. So
and if you're going to be stocking, you have to have the striped stocking.
Yes, you do.
Because she has to take them off or she doesn't have swords. So, if you haven't watched that, that's a really weird piece of context right there.
It is.
I mean, out of context quotes are kind of awesome. All right.
Well, I don't want people too young to be introduced to panty and stocking with garter belt because of this. Please be of age to watch that show.
I feel like so much anime, like parents think it's okay because it's animated, but a lot of anime cartoons is not kid friendly.
There's some that I feel. I'm 39 and I feel too young to watch some anime still. So let's just put that out there. Please.
All right, show us what you got, Becki.
I can try to.
She's sexy for her cosplay. She's too sexy for her cosplay.
That's about it that I can show.
That's all right.
But no, those are very, very important parts of the Sakura costume.
Well, it's actually the after series mini series.
You got the Uchiha fan on the back. I've thought about doing some of those when they're all grown up.
Yeah, I think it's been about 5 years since I've been in this costume.
Well,
which is a whole story in of itself. Oh, thank you.
I had that little soft spot for Naruto because of being into it when the only way you could watch it was getting like really maybe okay subtitled fan subs off the back alleys of the internet.
Yep. I stopped watching and just read it because I'm like, okay, I can't with this. I like the Japanese voices. But I started listening to the English ones and I was like, absolutely not. That is not Sasuke's voice. No.
Yeah, no. I liked and the manga didn't have all the weird extra filler stuff.
Yep.
It just had good story. Like a lot of people that got out of it watching the anime should really read the manga.
Yes.
Way better. So good.
Thank you, Xander.
Hi. Thank you. I had to do this version when it came out because in 2006 there was no Uchiha Sakura.
Nope.
And my two favorite characters were Sakura and Sasuke. So I took them and put them together.
everybody. What fangirl did not have a little bit of love for that little ship there?
Oh,
if
you'd
you
be
liked
surprised.
Naruto, that would true. But
I got
a lot
told
of
so many
fangirls
times that I was wrong and that it
Yeah.
would never happen.
and you're
And
like,
then when
"Hi,
it
canon."
did, I was like, haha, yes, it did.
You're like, it's canon, so the only way it's not happening is in your mind, in your fanfics. So
Right. Oh, even when the after series mini episode, and I have the manga, I cannot. It's like 7th Hokage and the something of springtime.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like when that came out, I was reading it episode for or chapter by chapter when it came out, and there was a guy that I was talking to at the time. He did Itachi, and it was funny because we actually got in an argument about who Sarada's mother was, and I'm like, it's Sakura, and he's like, no, it's Karin, and I was like, no, it's Sakura. And then when the series ended, I was like, well, see, it's Sakura, and like he actually unfriended me and stopped talking to me because of it.
How dare you be right?
Wow. How dare you be right?
Right.
And he be that petty.
Right. It was funny.
That is a high level of pettiness there.
I still laugh about it. I'm just like, okay. I was right about it though, wasn't I?
Like, bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
So this is my husband agreeing that the filler episodes killed the anime for him and he could never finish it.
Yeah. Read the manga. I mean, I know some people would rather just sit and watch the show, but the manga,
read the
so
manga.
Much better.
I mean, I could listen to Sasuke's Japanese voice for days, but read the manga.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, and because I don't speak Japanese, I can't tell you if it's voice acted well or not. Truly,
right?
But there's like, I come from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s anime fan time, and so you either got a really, really amazing dub or you just got something that was quickly put out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of a toss-up. And sometimes I prefer an anime in English. Some I prefer in Japanese. Some I can watch in both. But yeah, some of them just make you cry.
Yep.
So
I was reading Xander's comment. Yes, and read the manga for Naruto. I haven't really read much of Boruto because I couldn't get past the new art style. Sasuke has curly hair, and I'm like, no.
What happened? We always referred to it as the duck butt hair.
Yeah. Yep. It does. It just stands straight back. And then his headband's tied around it. Yep. And it's just
it goes into this little point that looks like a duck's tail. Yep. So my friends and I always called it the duck butt hair.
Yep. I've done Battle Damage Uchiha Sasuke a while back, and it was fun trying to do that wig because like you would hairspray it and then hang it sideways and then hairspray it some more and leave it that way until it was all dry and then hope that it stood up.
And the great thing with his hair is like if you were into a lot of like the Japanese rock bands at the time, a lot of them were kind of rocking the duck butt hair.
Yep.
So it just kind of all like now everyone's going to know this is the duck butt hair. This is what you call it from now on, guys. Sasuke had duck butt hair.
He did until he grew it out. Until he grew it out in Shippuden, and then covered the one eye because of the Renengan and all that good fun stuff.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Sorry.
This feels like conversations I had 15 plus years ago. I miss this.
I've actually been away from Sakura for about 4 years for personal reasons. My ex that I was with, I met him and he was dressed as Sasuke. And I was Sakura, and I've done most of my versions with him. So the fact that I actually was like, let's wear this. I'm like, nope, this is my character.
I'm so proud of you.
Own her because you look fantastic as Sakura.
Thank you.
So you should own her and tell him, ah.
Oh, well, I don't speak to him anymore. That was 4 years ago.
There you go. See, there you go. Tell him he is not going to make you not cosplay a character you love. So.
And actually, because you mentioned the wig, this wig is actually 15 years old.
Wow.
The thing's holding up quite well.
Yep. It's the only wig that I've used for Sakura that I bought. So after that first year where I used my friend's wig, this is the wig I got from the cosplay.com wigs that they had back in the day.
My Madame Red wig is from there. We had to hack off like 10 inches of it. But
I think this one was shoulder length, and I actually cut it to be more chin length. It's a little short in the back, and it's not completely even, but you would never be able to tell.
It's fine. Most people never look at the back of the costume anyway.
Well, you kind of have to for this one because of the symbol. Because the symbol's awesome.
But they're going to look at the symbol, not the wig.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they're going to be like, how'd you get that on there?
Misty says that we all look super cute. Hi, Misty.
Hi,
big sister. That's my big sister. So she's always watching us. I love it.
And Xander says you make an amazing Sakura. And he loves the duck butt hair. the phrase not. And also my husband.
I enjoy the hair.
My husband wants to know if Naruto is your favorite anime or is there another one? And I think that question is for both of you ladies.
So, I can't. It's one of my favorites. I can't say I like one over another. But if I had to name a few that were my favorites, it'd be Naruto, Berserk. Berserk holds a special place in my heart. But again, it's not kid friendly.
No,
that is like your warning label, not kid friendly, must be of age. Then there is I actually started on Sailor Moon back in the day. Ronin Warriors was a really good one too, that not a lot of people know.
I remember Ronin Warriors.
Trinity Blood is awesome too.
The manga is some of the most beautiful manga artwork you can find.
I'm just sad that we won't get a series end for that one.
Yeah.
I am happy that we're going to get an end for Berserk, even though the creator passed away for that one.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
It was a year ago, a little over a year ago.
I remember seeing that because I knew a lot of people that were still heavily into anime and stuff when they posted about that.
Let's see if I can do this right. So that is my Berserk manga. And then it goes that way. And I have the deluxe issues over there.
Nice.
So, hey, I did it right.
Sadly, my house fire, not the fire, but a busted pipe as a result, took out half of my 400 book manga collection.
Oh, goodness.
And my Trinity Blood ones were in there.
Trinity Blood is, let's see.
They were in that mess.
It's there behind my Ray and my little red reindeer. I don't know if you can see it. So it's there. That's my Trinity Blood. I am missing one issue or one volume. And of course, that's the volume that's stupid, crazy, expensive.
Of course. Because why shouldn't you be missing that one?
Right. Well, that's the same thing with there's another manga that I really like, but it's kind of on hiatus and hasn't been finished. I don't know that it ever will be, but it's Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage. It's made by the same creator as Ruby, I think is the one that he stopped on Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage to do, and he has not come back. I have the volumes 0 through 9, and volume 10 is the hardest one to find. It's over $50 if you can find it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Trinity Blood is awesome.
Trinity Blood.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And
one of my friends literally described Trinity Blood for people that didn't know it just as Vatican vampires.
Basically,
nice.
Yes.
In the future.
Yeah.
It
is a lot of fun.
And it's time to go through pictures. So, Becki, let's go through your pictures first, and then we'll go through our viewer submissions. So, if you want to just talk about each picture a little bit.
Okay, I can try to. I'll try to do a little bit. So that's my battle damaged Sasuke costume. I am actually open shirt bound in that picture. And it's funny because I got hit on by girls in that picture. And then I said hi, and they're like, oh, you're a girl.
That's how you know you did it right.
Yeah. So it has duck butt hair. I also competed that at Colossal Con in 2010 and won Best in Show and Journeyman. And best part is when I went on the first time, I had to have the shirt up and actually on. And then when I decided that if I got anything, because I was not convinced I was going to get anything because it was such a simple costume, that if I won an award that I would drop the shirt around my waist. And I've been told multiple times that I don't break character when I'm in Sasuke. It's not on purpose. I just love the character. So I went on stage to get my award, and one of the judges was cosplaying a female, but he was male. So he was cosplaying. And as I'm almost off stage, I'm walking across because I've already got my award. He goes, oh, by the way, that's a girl. And like the whole audience was kind of like, what? And I was like, oh crap. And I started laughing. It was funny.
I love that.
That's great.
So that is my Captain Peggy Carter from What If. And I actually use my natural hair and do a 1940s wet set with that one. It's fun. It's a lot of time for hair. I also made the shield. I made the whole thing. It's one of my costumes that I wear the most, mostly because of Heroes Alliance. Yeah. I was at COSI too in their progressive area. So it was like 1950s, 60s time period. It fit.
Close enough.
It's
right.
so good.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So this is my, I think I can kind of say newest anime costume. I'll say it that way. That is Casca from Berserk, from when she is the Band of the Hawk raid leader, or Band of the Hawk mercenary leader. Anyway, I competed this one at MatsuriCon this year and got runner-up masters with that one. I hand-dyed the pink fabric. It was a lot of work. My first time really making a sword. Wonderflex is fun. Or actually, that was Warbler. Wonderflex is different.
Wonderflex is old school cosplay.
I have used Wonderflex before, but that was my first time using Warbler and making armor to that scale. It was fun. I love it.
It's really nice.
Oh, thank you. Would have wore it tonight, except for it's like an hour to get into.
Yeah.
And takes 2 people. So that one is actually Lori from Walking Dead. After she dies and Rick hallucinates her. I made that dress. It's backless. You can't really tell in this, but it is backless. I think it was before the pandemic, but it was probably the year before, so maybe 2018, 2019. I wore it for the last time and met Sarah, who played Lori, and she was so excited. She's like, oh my goodness, you look so great. You're me. I'm like, yeah, I'm you.
That's so cute.
I have pictures with her. I actually found out that was modeled after her actual wedding dress.
Oh.
But with the Walking Dead conventions I helped with, we actually met the costume designer. So I got to talk with Yulin and
That's so cool.
Oh my goodness, I just lost his name and he'll be so mad at me. Hollis.
I'm just jealous of the fact that you got to talk to costume designers.
I know, I'm so jealous.
I'm friends with Yulin on Instagram, and I think last I checked, I am friends with Hollis on Facebook. That's the 2 costume designers from the original. Like, they didn't do the end series seasons, but the beginning ones, yeah.
Nice.
So that is one of my Seth Night Road costumes. I competed that one at OhioCon 2018, 2017. I was informed that it was ill-fit and improperly made, and I really wanted to inform them that if it was, it'd be on the floor.
Yeah, there's the way their clothes like float around their bodies.
Well, it also only has a butterfly here and like the same spot in the back, and that is the only thing holding the top closed.
Yeah, no.
So
as my brothers say, the artist design it and they let the cosplayers figure it out.
Yep. That's kind of one of the fun things. It's like, it's not real, but I'm gonna make it real and I'm gonna figure out how.
Yeah, you're like, this thing literally levitates around my body, but it's gonna happen.
Yep. So that is my first Seth Night Road, along with my friends Inali, Shakura, and Kimu. So Inali is Kane, Shakura is Lilith, and Kimu is Abel.
See, I never got to do a whole Trinity blood group, and I would love to do that with my Cardinals Forza so much.
It was amazing. We actually did a skit, and we went for craftsmanship. This one's a whole story, but it's a really fun story. So this was my first real competition. So the first one I did in 2007, no idea what I was doing. But I went to Anime Expo, which is the biggest anime convention on the West Coast, and people from Japan actually come in for it. And the 4 of us decided that we were going to compete, all 4 Krusniks, and 3 of us had props. Kane's, you can kind of see Kane's is kind of sticking up behind my hat. But my prop was the smallest, and it was 5'8". The green orbs do light up. All 4 of us were in 4 different states at the time. We did not get to practice until the day before we competed.
Oh, wow.
And we did not get to compete in costume. So 3 of us had wings. You can kind of see, mine are like little bug wings. The two in the back, Lilith and Kane, their wings were like a 6-foot wingspan. The other two props were about 6 foot tall. We took up the whole stage. So it's 2009 Anime Expo, and that was the year that Michael Jackson passed away. So we were supposed to be on the Staples stage. Obviously, for reasons because Michael Jackson passed away, we were not. And we barely fit on the stage, but we did this whole skit, and I can find a link somewhere if you guys want it. But we competed. We did not wear the costumes in total until we were backstage before competing. Like, we didn't want the convention to see them. Right. We took them in a bag to be judged. And we took second place overall. So best in show, second place.
Nice.
Fantastic. I mean, they all look amazing. So
it was over a year to make those.
Oh yeah.
Xander would love to see also. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I know it's still on YouTube, so I will find a link and I will send it to you so that you can post it.
To get that much detail, Trinity Blood costumes, if you look at the artwork, it's so minute detailed that
that's impressive.
They're always impressive.
And every picture is different. Trust me, I checked out.
Oh yeah, no,
that's a headache.
Would not have any consistency whatsoever, other than Seth wears green.
Yes, yes,
it's about it.
I hand resin casted all the jewels for my costume. Sakura actually made my trident, and it comes apart in 2 pieces. We also had to ship all of our props and wings from our state clear out to LA. Luckily, at that time, Kimu was still living in California, so we could ship everything there and just like.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though. And then we wore them on Sunday because they had a Trinity Blood gathering on Sunday. Like, what convention has a Trinity Blood gathering?
Yeah, not very many. Even in the height of Trinity Blood, you just didn't have a lot of people cosplaying it at the same time.
Just because they were so intricately detailed.
Yep.
Well, hello to Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans. That's a very specific username.
It's very.
And Xander says they are intricately detailed and beautiful.
Oh, yes. If you've never seen Trinity Blood artwork, just go look it up.
I like Scott's question. He says...
I was reading that one. I was like, it's true. I know Scott from Rebel Legion. He's part of Apollo Base here in Ohio. It's actually very very, very accurate with Heroes Alliance, which is my Huntress right there from Arrow.
Yes.
And Star Wars, I've got Star Wars pictures, so I'll go into that when those come up. But I stay very, very active. So with my Huntress from Arrow, one of my best friends, she actually cosplays Laurel. So she does Canary. And so I was like, well, of course I've got to be Huntress. But I loved Huntress from her first few episodes. I was really sad they didn't do anything with her.
Right.
But I met the actor that played, I lost his name.
Tommy.
Yes.
You sent me a picture.
Yep. So I met Tommy at a Heroes and Villains Chicago. And I walked up and I was standing in line and he looks up and he's like, you. And I'm just like, hi, in full on Huntress. And I get up there and he's like, you look awesome. We're talking. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to ask, would you be okay doing the picture? And he's like, I didn't even have to tell him what I was talking about. There's just one scene that those two really interact. And he's just like, absolutely. And he gets up from behind his table, goes to the front of his table, leans down on the table and puts his arm back like I'm pinning him to the table and just like assumes the position. It was fantastic.
He's like, I got this.
Yep. And it was funny because in the picture, I didn't put it here, but in the picture, you can actually see the people in the background in the other lines for celebrities going, the heck is going on over there? Is she attacking them? It was great.
Let me see if I can, because I know you sent it to me.
I did.
Oh, I got it.
Cool.
I'm gonna put that up here because people need to see this.
It's fantastic. Awesome. He was amazing. He was so kind.
Yeah. His name is Colin O'Donnell.
Yes. And I think he just actually released a CD. I love it.
You look gleeful.
I was trying not to laugh because he was just like, "Oh, absolutely," and he just like stands up and comes around the
Sweetie.
table.
Oh, I
He
love
was
that.
so nice.
I love
See,
that.
that's the kind of interactions we want with the celebrities at cons, guys, right there.
Xander says, "Wow."
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. One of my highlights.
That's great.
I got the chance to meet Katie lots, and she was really nice too. Like, I have stories. She was awesome.
I think she's supposed to be at GalaxyCon here in the first weekend in December.
Highly recommend. She was so nice. I was dressed as her canary, and I got a picture with her. Sorry, I'm telling my Katie Lott story. I'm taking over. So I got a picture with her, and she complimented my costume. It was right after they killed Sarah for the first time. Well, not the first time really, but in season 3. Yeah, how many times did they kill Sarah?
Yeah.
So she was super sweet. And then after I got my picture with her, I saw a few other canaries in line, and I grabbed them for a group photo with all the canaries. And Katie came and like took a picture of us, and my friend was dressed as this huntress, and she's like, "You need to be in that." Or no, my friend was taking the picture, and Katie like kind of sneaks up and is like, "Hey, you should be in that picture too," and was taking the picture of us. And my friend looks around and is like, "Who's bossing me around?" And it's Katie. And then my friend's like, "You need to be in the picture too." So then we have a picture of all of us with Katie, who just like, came in and joined our picture. It was really sweet.
That's awesome.
She was so nice. She was really just kind and happy to meet her fans. Like, so let's go back to you.
So this one, my friend Laura, who is Vanishing Point Photography. I love her work, so I try to work with her whenever I can. She's amazing. So she took a picture of both my Rise of Skywalker Ray and my Dark Ray. The thing with my Dark Ray is I fought, and I say fought literally, not physically, but like verbally. For 3 years to get Dark Ray approved with the 501st, and I helped write the CRL, and I made all the changes that they decided that they wanted, and I for 3 years was back and forth with all of that. And this year, I can officially say, this year I am actually the CRL Ray, Dark Ray, and I am the first Dark Ray approved with 501st.
Very cool.
But both of these are, thank you. My Dark Ray was a labor of love. I made it based off the first 5 seconds to begin with, and this is actually the 3rd version. And my friend Damon Young wired my Dark Ray saber, and it's amazing. It's actually, really good. Oh no, I did it right. It's sitting back there.
Nice.
Awesome.
You're better at StreamYard than we are.
Yeah, we're very, very bad at this.
I'm sitting here looking at the background going, oh, wait, nope, that's over there. So it's going to be that side.
Yeah, I'm still not. I'm like, wait a minute.
So this is my Yelena.
So beautiful.
She's fantastic. I have officially gotten her in Heroes Alliance Ohio after a whole thing. But I can wear her with events now there. It was fun. One of the events I did, it was with the Villains group here in Ohio. It's United Chaos. I was with them with that one, and we were there, and like there was a girl, and I'm not sure if it was her sister or just a friend, but they had shirts on. One said Belova and the other said Romanoff. And they were at the Kosai Marvel event of this past year. And we were doing an event there. We were there in costume, and the one that had Belova on it, she was posing in front of the Black Widow costume that they had on display from the Black Widow movie.
Oh, yes.
So I waited until after they got done with their pictures, because she went down and did the Widow pose. Like the superhero landing pose.
Yeah. Such a poser.
Yes, I did that actually. They got their picture, and I was just like, oh, such a poser as I walked by, and she about died laughing. It was hilarious. And then she's just like, I'm like, yep.
That's so cute.
Yelena's just fun to wear. My best friend Lindsay, who is a Chica Cosplay. I have to remind myself every time. She does Black Canary, or not Black. She does Black Canary, but she does Black Widow with me as Yelena. So it's a lot of fun. We have sisters, and I do have another friend who does Red Guardian.
Nice.
And I've done Yelena with his Red Guardian, and my other friend, who is Danger Angel cosplay, she also does Black Widow. So we've had family
Nice.
pictures.
Yes.
We love it.
And now we're coming to the viewer submissions. So
Yay!
first one is a selfie because my friend Jo, I knew she did Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle, and I sent her a
My
message.
favorite Miyazaki.
Yes. I sent her a message. I was like, do you have any pictures? And she's like, all I have is a selfie. So
That's fine. We don't care what it is, as long as it's a picture.
Yeah. So she is Little Star Girl. She is not in the picture, but she custom made a ring, Sophie's ring, for this, and
Very nice.
She's very talented. And then we have
Not Invisible Angel. I actually met her this year, at Mid-South Con. We did a panel together, and
so
Desiree is amazing. She is a fantastic cosplayer, and we love a Sailor Scout, obviously.
Me too, Xander. Xander loves Ghibli films so much. They're just
watching Howl's Moving Castle, every time you watch it, you see something else in it. There's another thing in the artwork you see. And that's one that I can watch in English. I love that one in English.
Yes.
But they also have
voice actors are great.
Because the voice actors are actors. And so they can deliver a line very well.
I listened to the audiobook for the first time because I haven't read. Well, actually, I watched the movie for the first time this year. And then I listened to the audiobook, and I love the book too. They're very, very different animals. I love them both.
But amazing.
Yes.
And this is Misa Xeon Cosplay. They are a Memphis local. They're amazing. And everything Misa wears is just fantastic. I love, because Full Metal Alchemist is kind of one of my absolute favorites. I love the manga even more than the anime. And so being the Olivier Armstrong, just love that one. That's one of my favorites.
Yes. Xander agrees that the voice actors are so good. They really are.
Xander is smart.
Xander's good taste.
Here's Nikki, one of our best friends of the show from Wonderland Duo Cosplay. She's always precious, and we love Nikki to death.
Oh, thank you,
Xander. Again, a Sailor Scout.
Xander says these are all such awesome cosplays. They are. We have talented friends and viewers, y'all.
Yes.
Xander says thank you.
Yes. Well, we'll see Xander in a minute.
Yes,
because Xander did submit pictures. So,
and
Honey Blossom Cosplay, Colleen. Once again, lots of Sailor Scouts, because there was a big Sailor Scout group meetup here several years back. I was supposed to be Eternal Sailor Moon, but I was costuming a play and working full time. She never got finished. But this had like Robin and Sierra and a bunch of our friends in it. So
I was gonna say I recognize a few of those Sailor Scouts.
Yeah, you know a few of those Sailor Scouts personally. There we are, Niche Cosplay. That's Xander.
I love
doing
it.
Amazing costumes.
So many good ones.
Very nice.
I mean, once again, I'm a Yu Yu Hakusho lover, so Kurama, so great. Okay, Quartz Kitty, y'all. Sierra is a prolific cosplayer.
Yes.
She had just enough pictures for me to not have to make another collage, because the app I use lets you use 18 photos for a collage.
Xander says it's me. Thank you, Xander. We're so glad you submitted those.
Yes, we are. We love showing off all the cosplayers. I mean, come on, Sierra's a busy woman. There you are. There should have been one more. Did I not get? There should be at least one more in there. Hold on. Did I not get it in there? There it is. Okay, this one you skipped it. This right here is actually a friend of mine from work. This is Leon. I made his Demon Slayer costume for him, and I asked him if I could show him off. So, and the photo was by Garrett from Wonderland Duo Cosplay.
Nice.
Okay, that fabric, let's just say I dyed that fabric about 2 or 3 times to get the right shade of green.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
Yeah, it took a little bit to get that shade of, what's his name, Tanjiro? Is that his name? I know the Demon Slayer characters' looks. I don't know their names. I'm a little behind. So,
yeah, I've not watched Demon Slayer.
I see plenty of them at cons, but I don't know the characters very well. I just know that he actually commissioned that one for me back in 2019. So that was pre-pandemic cosplay right there.
Oh.
So it was before it was becoming super, super big. So trying to find green and white checkered fabric, not happening. I literally put that in about 2 or 3 dye baths to get the right color. So there.
Garrett, that Sailor Mercury is really cute. Yes, she is.
He might be a little biased.
She looks like wife material. Someone should get on that.
I know a wife of a decade or more. So
Sandra says he's never seen Demon Slayer either. Thinks it's Tanjiro.
I think it's Tanjiro. Like I said, I know the looks, but I don't know the names. I'm sorry, Demon Slayer fans. It's a lot. I judge a lot of cosplay contests. I have to get up in the morning to judge a cosplay contest, actually. That's why we ask for reference pictures, because some people come in like, well, I'm this character. And we're like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know everything. I'm sorry. I'm like Black Widow. I just pretend to know everything. That's what I tell people all the time when they're like, you know this. I'm like, no, I just pretend to know everything, guys. I don't. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. So yeah, I got to get up in the morning and look like I actually know what I'm doing as a cosplayer to judge a cosplay contest.
That sounds exhausting.
with Robin and Sierra. So at least I have 2 people that also look like they know what they're doing. So
that is a talented panel of judges, okay? The 3
Robin's
of you.
wearing her Hera tomorrow, and I've seen it in person once already, and the Rebel Legion did not approve her Hera. And they're crazy for not approving her Hera.
Nuts.
All because of one little zipper, and she's like, well, how else am I supposed to put these pants on? So
it's a thing.
It's okay. Her gen is approved, and her gen is absolutely freaking phenomenal. So, but we get to judge tomorrow. It's going to be a long day. Long day. So yeah, I'm sure we'll see a plethora of different characters because it's Memphis Comic and Fantasy Con, so we get the whole spectrum of characters in that one.
That sounds amazing.
Yes, I just have to get up in the morning, and Lord, we all know I am not a morning person. No. I got up at 2:00 today, this afternoon. It's been a long week, y'all. It's been a very long week.
So speaking of competitions, I know we're running overtime, but Becki, Becki, we had talked about offline about talking about competitions a little bit in the episode. Do you still feel up to doing that?
Sure, if you want to go over, that's fine.
Yeah, do that. So you've competed in several contests. So
mostly anime related, but I have done a couple comic conventions that are different. So like at anime conventions, you have prejudging where you have to have reference, and a lot of times you really should have progress pictures to show that you actually made it.
It helps.
Yeah. So what I do, and I have one, I make books for mine.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
And then
I've seen a lot of those in judging.
First one I made was actually for Anime Expo, and they required it. So some conventions require them. Some conventions are just, hey, you should, but we're not going to make you.
Yeah. I think the bigger they are, the more they want proof that you did it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So like I put things in like my reference. So I've got a whole bunch of reference pictures. And then I actually do a page of materials. That's not materials. Oh, it kind of is. I'm sorry. I haven't looked at this in a while. But I made my patterns, so I have to like show that I made them. See, I did it. I finally am with you guys. That's my math.
It happens.
And then I've got like this page. I have pieces of the things that I used and what I used for it. I show the process of making them. So like I mentioned that I dyed the fabrics. So I've got that showing that. The process of making my armor, which was a whole process. And that's just part of it. I've got how I did my sword and my wig. And then because we're post-pandemic now, you had to have masks at this convention, so I actually made a mask to go with it, which is kind of hard to see, but I hand embroidered the Band of the Hawk emblem on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of patience.
And then like I showed how I painted things. Oops, I dropped the page. So different things like that.
These are definitely things that judges do like to see. If y'all are out there just wondering.
Yeah. And
it makes a lot of difference because, like I said, I've been on both sides of the judging table, and that as a judge makes it, especially if you make a copy the judges can hold on to until at least give it back to you after the. Some people go, "Oh no, that's a copy for you guys," and we're like, "You put so much money into making this thing."
Yeah,
but then also you can go back during deliberations and go, "Oh, okay, this is I remember this now," because you literally can see.
You can
depending
see
on the con. Yeah, you know, some cons I judge for about 2 hours. I've done some where I judge for 4 or 5 hours. You see so many people in that time that, especially if you start at like 10 and you don't end till 2 or 3 judging, you forget that person at 10 a.m.
And
so it's good to have that. Like I always take pictures of the people competing so I can go back and go, okay, this is the one. But those books, you cannot imagine how much that has helped in deliberations in the past. Those are a huge help.
An Anime Expo and like OhioCon and whatnot, they've got 2 days of judging. So there's no way you're going to remember everybody that competed.
Yeah, I think they do that at Anime Weekend Atlanta too.
A lot of the bigger conventions do 2 days of judging just because they've got so many people, and then the competition itself could be 2 hours long. To respond,
even without skits, I've seen some go for an hour plus just to get everybody across the stage.
Yep. To respond to Xander, thank you. I appreciate it. I actually had to cut down a lot of pictures. I had over 400 pictures of my process.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think it was about 400 pictures. But
very thorough.
Obviously, they can't all fit in there.
Right.
But I actually, for MatsuriCon, they asked to hold on to it until after judging, and then I could go to the room and pick it up after judging. But what I like doing with them is if I get an award, for right now anyway, I put my awards in the back. So that is actually my MatsuriCon award.
Oh, I love it.
And then I keep my books too. So I've got all the books that I've ever made for all my competition costumes, except for my Summoner Yuna that I made and competed in 2007 because I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Well, that 2007 seems like, you know, in the dark times as a cosplayer. It was so long ago.
But I still have my Trinity Blood book from when I competed at Anime Expo in 2009. And all of our covers had the same picture, but like mine said Seth Night Road and with my name on it, and we had one for each character. So it's a lot of fun.
I could say those books help you as a competitor too, because I know I've walked into a judging room and just gone, I made this. Yeah, your brain just blanks. You're like,
costume.
Talk about the you're like talk about the things you did, like the processes you learned, the new materials you used, what you drafted, what you modified, all this. And my brain just every time I walk into a judging room, I just go blank.
Yep.
And so, especially when I see people, they're like, I'm so nervous. This is my first time competing. I'm like, I got you. Deep breaths. Take your time. And just let us know. And that's when I kind of like to, like, especially the like younger kid cosplayers, I try to like lead them. I'm like, so tell me how you made it. Did you learn anything new making this? I try to find ways to make them comfortable, but also get the information out of them. Because a lot of us that cosplay are a bunch of high anxiety nerds. So going into a judging room makes you panic.
Yep.
And you're literally being judged on something you made. So it's nerve-wracking. And those little books, or even if you just have pictures on your phone you want to scroll through and show your judges, that helps you focus.
Just make sure that you read the rules, because some conventions actually say that is not allowed on your phone.
Yeah.
That they actually have to have printed copies. So definitely make sure you read your rules.
Also read your rules, because when it says you have to have made your costume, we don't mean you compiled it.
Yeah.
When it's a craftsmanship contest, please understand that we ask that you made it, not compiled it.
And a lot of conventions will say you had to have made a certain percentage. So I think OhioCon was only like 50 or 60% you had to have actually made. And I'm like, really? That seems really low.
A lot of them I see are like 70% or higher have to have been made or heavily modified.
Yep.
Makes sense.
I mean, we get that nobody's going to be out there like, cobbling shoes, and not everybody's going to be sewing every single weft into a brand new wig.
Right.
But we need the bulk of it to have been literally crafted by you.
Yep. Yeah, I was trying to think. I have competed in comic book conventions. A lot of them, there is no prejudging. So you're literally being judged on stage. So it turns more into a popularity contest almost.
Yeah.
You have to have a big flashy costume or a well-known character.
Or a big presence on the stage.
Yep. So I competed, didn't compete Yelena. I competed Yennefer from Witcher 3, the video game. And I was at Steel City Comic Con, and that was in April of this year. That was my first time competing in a few years. And I was told afterwards that it looked like my costume looked like it was bought.
Which is a compliment.
It's a compliment.
But it's frustrating because it wasn't. You made it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's why I didn't win anything, but I wasn't even pulled up on stage in the top percentage.
Crazy.
It was supposed to have been a craftsmanship competition. It was labeled craftsmanship, but they didn't ask you any questions. They 100% looked at you as you walked by and went, "Oh no, that's bought," or "Yeah, that's totally made."
You cannot tell craftsmanship from a distance. You have to be able to look up close on the costume.
Yeah, especially when you have multiple years of sewing experience. So like I've been cosplaying for 16 years, but I work full time as a seamstress. So I mean, mine is going to look more, quote, professionally made.
Yeah.
But that's because I sew every day.
Yeah. See, I'm the judge that I ask permission. I ask permission, of course. But I'm like, can I look at your seams? Like, I'm flipping people's seams up and looking at if it's, serged, French seamed, if it's lined, and, secretly looking for tags and things that might look a little too professional.
Right.
And I meant to put a picture of Yennefer in, but that was one of those that I'm like, I can only do 10. And I have over 100 costumes. I got to play with smoke bombs in that costume. It was a lot of fun.
Yes. Well, and when we close the show, you're going to tell people where to find you.
So they can
Uchiha Sakura Cosplay, basically. They should follow you anyways, and then they can see Yennefer and all the other costumes, because your Yennefer is gorgeous.
Thank you. I've completely it was fit to me and modified, and it was a lot of fun. Yes, I was surprised not a lot of people at that convention. There wasn't as much love for that character as I thought there would be. It was weird. They're like, "Hey, I know that character." I'm like, "Yeah, you want a picture?" No, I'm good. I'm like, "Okay."
I've had that's such a weird feeling. People are like, "Oh my god, your costume's amazing." They got their phone or their camera out, and you're like going to pose, and they just keep walking, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I feel like an idiot now."
Well, and that's the reason.
Kind of bruises the cosplayer ego just a little bit.
But that's the reason you should never make a costume just chasing that.
That's why I say don't. We were talking a couple weeks ago, not about the fast fashion. Don't make a character just because it's popular.
Yep.
It's what's big at the time. It's what's going to get you noticed. Make characters you like, and something make it to last, so you can wear it for years and years to come.
Xander, I agree with you. He says, I think nowadays Witcher is popular, or since Witcher, I can't speak. Since Witcher is popular with the show, it'd be pretty big. I did the video game version, so it's not the same as what she did in the TV shows, so that could be why. But people knew I was Yennefer. Yeah. Because they kept going, "Hey, you're Yennefer," but they're just like, "Yep, just gonna keep walking." I'm like, "It's cool, whatever."
It's like they're like, "Hey, Yennefer," and
yep,
bye.
Yep. It's like, all right, yay.
Some costumes are just like that, though. But the people who get it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. like I've worn costumes that literally are off of like one page of a manga, and the one person at the whole con the whole weekend that recognizes it, I'm like, you're the one.
Yep.
You're like, I made this for me, but you're the other one I made it for because you recognized it.
I cosplayed Hein from Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage, which is a very underrated one, and not a lot of people know it. I was with my friend, and I cannot think of the female character from the series, what her name is. But we were dressed up as those two, and like I think maybe 3 people stopped us the whole day, but those 3 people were like, "Oh my goodness, you're!" And I'm like, "Yes, that's us. Thank you."
Yeah, that was me with my Byakuya from Yamino Matsue, and then my friend and I did the 10 years later Gokudera and Lambo from Katekyo Hitman Reborn. And I kept getting called Soul like all day. It's silver hair, the suit. We're going to the elevator in our hotel, and Spike goes, "Are you Gokudera and Lambo?" And we're like, "Oh, thank you."
Yep.
Kay's over there in this really fancy silk cow print shirt that I made. It's tacky as can be, but it is fabulous. And this one person that recognized it were like, "Yes, thank you."
That's what it is. Yep.
I did Gokudera back in the day.
We made hot dudes.
I did.
I look good in a 3-piece suit, y'all. Okay.
Yes, you do. Yes,
I need an ego boost right now because I've been having a little downer. So I make a cute dude.
You do. You do. You both
and I
do.
like Gokudera because he plays with bombs
Yes.
and fire. So.
Yep. That's a lot of fun.
And he has a pet cat, so he's me as a guy in the Italian-Japanese mafia.
It's a fun series. I forgot about that series.
I've done Reborn as well, but funnily enough, as popular as it was when I wore it, not many people recognized it. Yep. So I did the adult version of Reborn. I wasn't walking around with a pacifier in my mouth.
Xander's absolutely right. Just finding that one person who gets what you're cosplaying from something so underrated is such a nice feeling. Yes, agreed.
When you love those, because I was into so many obscure manga, because I've been into it so long that, even in 2005 and 6, it had already become obscure. Yep. And so finding that one person that was into it and liked it was such a cool feeling.
It is nice. And okay, so let's do our wrap up. So Becki, I'm gonna.
Yes.
I mean, I could literally go or talk to you both longer, but it is.
I told you, if you don't shut me up, the show is gonna not stop. This will be like the Lamb Chop song. It's the song that never ends. This will be the show that never ends. Mm-hmm.
So Becki, I'm gonna put you on a solo layout, give you the spotlight, and I'm gonna ask you what your one piece of advice would be for newer cosplayers, what you wish someone would have told you when you were starting out.
Okay.
So go ahead. What would you tell someone who is a newer cosplayer?
So I guess what I would tell someone who's a newer cosplayer is cosplay what you want because you want to, not because somebody else wants you to. You will have more fun that way, and you'll meet more people and new friends. It doesn't matter what your costume looks like compared to somebody else's. As long as you love your costume, that's what's important. Do what you want to do and take it as far as you want to go. Don't feel like you have to do things just because other people are doing things. Do it because you want to.
That is wonderful advice.
And do it because you want to is probably the best piece of advice out there.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, because nobody's going to know .hack, or if they do, they're not going to know all the characters. Like, it's 25 years old, but I'm like, I've wanted to do this costume forever, so I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So you just do what you want to do.
And some of us, we literally waited till we had the talent and the abilities to do that character that we've had in our minds for, like I said, 20, 25 years.
Xander knows .hack.
Thank you, Xander.
So just come down the Memphis way with that costume, and Xander will be really excited.
I mean, that's not a terribly long drive. I am in Ohio.
Yeah,
there's some good cons down Andrea's way too. She's got some good stuff going on. Yes. So Becki, where can people find you?
So I'm probably gonna say my Facebook cosplay link incorrectly, but it's Uchiha Sakura on Facebook pages. I think right now my profile picture is actually Yennefer. But easier to find me is Instagram, which is cosplay.uchiha Sakura. And I think there's actually a link to my Facebook page from Instagram. So you can do it both ways.
And also, they can find you on the Heroes Alliance Ohio page.
Yep.
And I definitely want you to plug that. So give a minute to talk about that.
So I run a charity group here in Ohio called Heroes Alliance Ohio. It used to be part of a national organization, which Kelly knows about, because she was part of Wisconsin. But here in Ohio, we dress up as Marvel and DC superheroes for charity events or community events. So we're at a lot of the walks. We were just at Ohio Heroes Wrestling event, which was a victory for the vets. It was a Veterans Day weekend, and it was literally an organization that brings kids into wrestling to get them off the streets, just to get them involved in something. So we do events like that. It's a lot of fun. We're open as long as you got a costume that doesn't look like it's a Halloween store costume and it fits you well, then you should just join. Our page is on Facebook. Sorry, I've got Facebook open and it's blinking at me. So it's on Facebook and it's Heroes Alliance Ohio. There is a page still called Heroes Alliance. That was the national page. It does get to more often than not. It'll give you the links to the other pages. But it's Heroes Alliance Ohio. Yeah, I've been part of that group for 7 years now, something like that.
That's a good chunk of time.
Yeah, I've been leading it for 3. Mm-hmm. So trying to get more people involved in running the group. It's getting better. I think we've had 25 events this year.
Holy wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We had like 9 in the last month or so.
Yeah, our little local one that I'm on the board of directors for, it's just we did 4 or 5 in October.
Yep.
Because October, of course, everybody wants the costume characters there.
Yeah. I think one weekend we had 3 events.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was
need to lay down.
This is actually my first weekend where I don't have to get up early in the morning, and I'm so looking forward to sleeping in. It's been about a month and a half.
That'll be me like in January because I've got the con tomorrow, and then I have a volunteer thing on the day after Black Friday. Yep. And I work Black Fridays.
Well, I have one on Black Friday, but that's with the Star Wars group. So Apollo Base and Ohio Garrison and Galaxy United here in Ohio. We are going to be at the Dayton Children's, what do they call it? It's Dayton Children's Holiday Parade or something like that, but it's their tree lighting ceremony. They do a night parade, and it's all lit up. I can't remember if it's the 10-year anniversary or the 20-year anniversary, but they're like wanting to do extra lights. So, but that's Black Friday evening. So It doesn't count as the weekend.
Yeah. and you get to sleep in. So there you go.
I still get to sleep in.
All right. So Andrea, where can people find you?
Oh, usually my Instagram, Media Rice, and then all the Cosplay Cafe pages.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, we got the link tree, guys. It takes you to the Phoenix Sisters. It takes you to me. It takes you to Kelly's books, Crayle's Pokeballs, all that stuff.
Everything you could want.
Because once again, we got our hands in all the cookie jars. It's just how we are.
Like we said, come to the Phoenix side. We have cookies.
I also make really good brownies, so I like to bake. So Stocking's appropriate for liking the sweets, y'all. She's got a sweet tooth, so it works.
I love it. I can be found at Kelly Guentner, GUENTNER.com. I can be found at the Cosplay Cafe podcast. Actually, I think it's Cosplay Cafe Pod, Linktree. I can be found at the Phoenix Sisters Linktree. I also want to take a minute to plug the Multiverse fundraiser.
Yes.
If you're not following our social media, you should be. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and Twitter. We're going to be going live on Black Friday with all our celebrity announcements. So the Ritter Rally is basically what we're calling our event for 2023, because our chosen charity is the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health, which basically supports aortic health, just like we said, because so John Ritter's wife formed this after John passed away from a misdiagnosis of a heart attack, when what he actually had was an aortic dissection, which is really, really sad. But it's also really incredible that she took her grief and she channeled it into something that is dedicated to raising awareness and saving lives. And
I remember when he passed away, that was such a shocker. Like, nobody could believe it.
It was awful. And she still really loves him and is still channeling her passion for her husband into just saving lives, changing lives, raising awareness. And so we're supporting that and trying to raise funds for this foundation. And we're also throwing a really fun virtual Comic-Con with an incredible celebrity guest list. I'm so excited for you all to see who is going to be showing up to our virtual con. Xander is right. It was a shocker. It just, it's very sad.
It was.
So other than that, we have our sponsor ad. Please check out whycosplay.com. By following the links in the show notes, you support our show. And thank you all for watching, and have a great weekend.
And sticking around for another half hour.
Yes. And Becki, thank you for being on. You were a wonderful
thank you
guest.
so much.
Thank you for having me. If I could really fast, and I don't know if he's still watching or not, but tomorrow is Tristan's birthday, and I wanted to tell him happy birthday. I was told that him and his mom were going to watch this. I don't know if they did or not, but if he's on, happy birthday, Tristan.
Happy birthday, Tristan. Well, he can catch the replay tomorrow if he didn't watch.
Yeah.
So, happy birthday. I love that. Cosplay Cafe is sponsored by whycosplay.com, which is your one-stop shop for quality costumes and cosplay supplies. So click on the link in our show notes to get a 20% off discount. Or not, if you hate saving money. I don't know you. I don't know your life. Clicking on the link does help support our show. So, you know what? Just do the thing. Do the thing.